performance leads to policies, this performance leads to practices, this performance leads to principles, this performance leads to process. Now we try to analyze all those by considering the perception of the employees. We need to understand the perception of the employees. So how you feel, how you think, how you observe, how you consider about these practices. Now, we cannot make changes in the organization of our own. We need to implement changes. It is always advisable to implement changes on the basis of the views of its users. Now, once it is done, then they will give the feedback. Now, again, it will come here. So again, it will come here. So this is how the process moves. Now, what HR audit is? Just write it down. Audit is examining. HR audit is examining the organizational performance. It is a mechanism of examining the organizational performance by considering the views, perception of the employees, of the human resources. Now, what we are examining, if someone will ask what we are examining the policies, what we are adopting in the organization, we are examining the procedure, we are examining the practices, and we are examining the principles. These are the broad parameters which you need to examine. Now, there is a system or there is a process. Now, what is that process is actually? The first step is develop the scope of and types of HR audit. First, you need to develop. Develop the scope and types of HR audit. What type of quota हमें cover करेगा? ये जो policies practices हम दोनों के क्लास में फैसले ले लिए कितने कोई करना और ये पट्टी कुछ Now we need to examine the policies of what kind of policies quota को हमें ये करेगा consider करेगा बा quota को हमें examine करेगा ताकू हमें basically develop करेगा ताकू हमें basically develop करेगा. So we need to find out कहाँ को हमें को area टाकू हमें examine करेगा. Now first is that you need to decide which parameters have to be developed, whether we will develop the new changes which has been adopted or whether we will consider to examine जो हमें नया practices कले बा गोटे नया किछि product launch कले बा नया किछि rules regulation कले. So सेटा केमिति लोक माने adopt करिवे accept करिवे ताकू हमें चिंता करिवे. So first is that you need to identify the scope. You need to find out the scope. Once the scope is identified, then we need to go for develop the HR questionnaire, audit questionnaire. Audit questionnaire we need to develop. देखिए से तुम्हारा साउंड होची
श्रीकार विश्वल
Srikant, am I audible? If I am audible, please mute yourself. Okay, now what is that? We need to identify the scope of audit, quota को हमें audit करेगा. Then we need to develop a questionnaire. मु तुमको कहिबी केमिति तमे जो काली जो प्रोजेक्ट विषय कहिली. So this is all about your HR audit जो गुडा को मैं HR रे करूची. Suppose मु कहिबी कि केमिति गोटे स्कोप रहउची कि मु डिजाइन करिबी how the training and development practices adopted in the organization develops the organizational culture. I will audit that. So that is one approach or one way of doing the project work. So that is what I need to develop a questionnaire. मतलब एक questionnaire develop करिया कुछ and questionnaires are already pre-developed. by different psychologists, by HR professionals. Sabu organization ro gote key parameters rakhichhanti, area of evaluation rakhichhanti, ebong kichi questionnaire rakhichhanti. Jemiti performance appraisal questionnaire thae, semti HR auditor madhya questionnaire thae to understand the acceptance from the employee side. So once museta ko kohi kemiti questionnaire develop hochi. Now develop the HR audit questionnaire. Next is that collecting the data. Data from the employees. We need to collect the data from the employees. Then next is that comparing the feedback result with the objective of the implementation of the practices. So what is the first? First is that we need to develop the scope. Audit kariba. Then we need to develop a questionnaire. Then collect the data from the employees. We need to collect the feedback from the employees after it is being developed. Then compare the feedback. जो feedback हमें पाइलु, same feedback को base करिबा, गोटे side रे रखिबा, एवं what are the objectives, predetermined objectives which was decided during the implementation of such practices or principles. Then next is that finding out the gap, then find bridging the gap. Then once we are able to compare both, then we need to find out the gap and how to bridge this gap. That is to be done at the end. Now see, this is what you may get a question: define human resource audit. What are its scope? Ko area re ame kari pariba, audit kari pariba. Then next is that what is the process of doing the audit? How audit is helpful? This HR audit is helpful. This HR audit first started with the development of scope. Then we need to build the questionnaire. We need to design the questionnaire. Then next, collecting the data from the employees. Then next, comparing the feedback, the result with the objective, initial objective, what you have said. And finally, we need to find out the gap and bridging the gap. जो gap टा आसीबो ताको हमें bridge करिबा, then only we can take corrective actions. So, but the most important thing is that audit questionnaire. Audit questionnaire we need to develop. ये जो audit questionnaire कहलो, ये तमर जो project है, जो तमे जो पिला माने HR नेचर से माने ए टाइप रो क्वेश्चनर करिबा दरकार। मु काली तुमको प्रोजेक्ट विषय कहितली, सो प्रोजेक्ट रे जो क्वेश्चनर करूछो जहां the same questionnaire, similar kind of questionnaire usually the organization applies on the employees. So what is that questionnaire is actually? How that questionnaire is to be designed. A audit questionnaire, तुम वो question पढ़ी पढ़े कि develop a questionnaire, HR audit questionnaire, which is to be implemented on the employees. Okay, to know the feedback or perception of the employees regarding a particular parameter. The parameter is, let's say, हम कही करीबा कि about performance appraisal. जो परफॉर्मेंस अप्राइजल सिस्टम टा हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रे अडॉप्ट हेची सेटा को whether the people are accepting, whether the employees are accepting or not, how they are considering it, how they are ताको केमिति से माने भाबुचंती, whether it is good, bad or best, or any remedial measures or any changes are required, that can be known only through the employees. So what is that audit questionnaire? Audit questionnaire by jekonosi project tame korucho, whenever you are distributing a questionnaire, the questionnaire is always divided into two parts. One is that demographic informations or personal informations. Okay, another is that about the area. One is that demographic or personal informations. Another is that को area रो तमे question पचारिबो. And usually ए जोटा को demographic बा personal टा हमें कौन कहि परिबा, whether it is independent variable or dependent variable. कौन variable कहि परिबा? Any idea if you people have? Can anyone share with me whether it is independent variable or dependent variable?
Dependent variable.
This one is dependent variable. And this one is what?
Independent.
Independent. सेटा और एटा डिपेंडेंट. अच्छा एटा कहां पर डिपेंड करूची कहि परिबो? एटा या पर डिपेंड करूची ना एटा या पर डिपेंड करूची? Two variables are there. The questionnaire is
Depend on demography. Depends on demography.
Demographic टा
area पर depend करछी.
Area पर डिपेंड करूची.
No
The
sir,
area per demography.
the area is depend on demography.
Demography. Why? How?
Because in demographic changes, the culture, the area
Okay. You tell me what demographic includes.
the atmosphere, the culture, the people, the
Personal. Okay. Forget about demographic. Write down personal. What personal includes? What are the personal records? What it includes? What kind of options we will give it here? Because it is all option based. What options we will give it?
Our requirements.
Personal.
Yes sir.
This includes your position. Okay? Buji parlo? This includes your position. One is that age, gender, income, experience, number of dependents. बुझी पारिलो पिला माने आउर एमती बहुत आसी. So these are your all personal parameters, variables. These are dependent or independent. एगुडा को ता पर डिपेंड करे ना से गुडा को या पर डिपेंड करे. Yes. The demographic and the personal factors are always independent, and these are always dependent. जो थेरे हमें क्वेश्चन पचारुचे सेगुडा को कहां पर डिपेंड करूची या पर डिपेंड करूची, because the answer what you will give here, the answer what will give here, it will change on the basis of the gender, on the basis of the age, on the basis of your income, on the basis of your experience, on the basis of your number of dependents. So this will see gender ta hame कहूचे कि male female. Okay, so that male जी अच्छे से मेल नहीं रहिबो से फीमेल कन्वर्ट होबनी, बट दिस विल चेंज. सो हमें कहि परिबे कि लेस देन 5 इयर्स, 5 to 6 to 11 10 years, 11 to 15 years, 16 to 20 years, 21 or more experience रे रहउची. हमें कहि परिबे why these are independent and these are dependent. जेतले तमे प्रोजेक्ट करी कि क्वेश्चनर पचारिबो सेतले तमे एते ही क्वेश्चनर डिजाइन करबा. If you ask for a questionnaire to be distributed among the employees, I will give such type of questions in HR. Now what is that? First we will ask how it works, that I will tell you. First see हमें कोन एनालिसिस टा कोन रहिबो. It is suppose what a questionnaire mu देली, the performance appraisal, what a questionnaire just you can think of. The performance appraisal is done periodically in our organization. First कोन अदर ऑप्शन रहिबो 5 point scale रे. Who developed 5 point scale? It is as per the Likkert's 5 point scale. Strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. और को जगह कहि पर highly satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, highly dissatisfied. एमिति 5 point scale दबा कोन परफॉर्मेंस अप्राइजल टा पीरियडिकली हुए. परफॉर्मेंस अप्राइजल टा हमरो विदाउट एनी मैनिपुलेशन इट हुए. After performance appraisal, it is promotion दिया जाए. On the basis, if your performance is low, then on that ground you are being trained. Okay, performance appraisal bhalo thile ame incentive do. So whether you are satisfied or dissatisfied, that options you will give it here. Now the answers will change. Whatever answers you will give, that will change, or different kind of answers will come on the basis of this. जे हाई पोजीशन रे रही छी तार व्यूज टा अलगा आसीबो, जे लो पोजीशन रे रही छी ता व्यू में अलगा आसीबो. जे एज वाइज मु जदि बिगिनर ताले मोर व्यू टा गोटे अलगा टाइप रे आसीबो, जे वेल एक्सपीरियंस ता व्यू अलगा आसी पारे. मेल करो गोटे व्यू आसी पारे, फीमेल करो गोटे व्यू आसी पारे. सिमिलरली इनकम, जे लो इनकम तार व्यू अलगा, हाई इनकम रो अलगा आसी पारे. Experience wise, number of dependents, someone is a bachelor, now after marriage his view will be changed or her view will be changed. Now the views on these are dependent on these parameters. Are you getting my point? How these are independent, how these are dependent. Pilane bujhila na nahi?
Yes, sir.
Now these are independent parameters, these are dependent parameters. Now what kind of research is that which you are going to do in your work, in your specialization? So you need to simply distribute a audit questionnaire. Performance appraisal ho ba overall HR re ho ba recruitment selection re ho, emte 10-15 ta question tame nei ki distribute karibo, and then you need to collect the data or informations. Now how you are doing the analysis? Now position re, suppose a position ro loko a age re achi, a income pauchi, his views is something else, whereas a experience ro je lower income re achi ta view alga achi. Now why this differentiation of opinions are there, and what remedial measures can be taken by the organization to get a positive response, to make them happy, to make them more productive, to make them more effective, innovative, informative, involved. Now what are those steps should be taken? That can only be identified through this feedback. Then you need to collect the suggestions. This is what is research. In fact, a small example. It is not like what I am a PhD kala bhaliya kaam koruche, but a small example dei pariba. Age group wise tame aduru 5-6 parameter dei paro, 7-ta 8-ta dei paro, 2-ta 3-ta independent variable भी dei paro. So वर्तमान ताको तमे परसेंटेज रे कन्वर्ट करिबा. सपोज तमे प्रोजेक्ट करूछ, तमे केते पिला को कलेक्ट कलो, लेट्स से 50 51 odd number है तमे कलेक्ट करो. Why odd? Because when it will come in 5 point scale, सेतरे कोन होची ना, एटा सब percentage decimal रे आसी. So कोन होची 51. Now you will convert, let's say a option रे, ए जो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन रे याकू 5टा बॉक्स अछि. फर्स्ट बॉक्स रे लेट्स से 15 जन कहले, नेक्स्ट ऑप्शन रे 10 जन कहले, नेक्स्ट ऑप्शन रे 9 जन कहले, केते हला 10 15 25 5 30 34. एठी डिसएग्री रे 7 जन कहले, हां केते हला
41.
एठी 10 बुझी पारलो. टोटल केते
51.
51. Now total is 51. Answer है आसीबो. बुझी पारलो ना नहीं? Now we will convert it to 100%. If this is 100%, then what is the percentage? 15 kete, 10 kete, 9 kete, 7 kete, 10 kete. बुझी पारिलो? Now tomorrow analysis kon rahiba jetole project korcha. I am telling about the project. Your analysis should be like this, that out of the total manpower, how it respondent में वर्तमान we are converting that 51 as overall total population को convert करछे. So total population, let's say 350. Out of which you have only collected 51 responses in case of project, but in case of HR audit 350 लोग involved है. Now out of those the views of the employees you are converting. This is what is the sample size. 51 is the sample size. Out of that 51, 15 are telling strongly agree, strongly agree, no opinion, disagree, neutral. By mo effort nahi kise bade moji moji. Then next is your disagree and strongly disagree. Tomorrow analysis rahiba out of the total respondents or total population, एतिकी परसेंटेज ऑफ लोक आर हाईली सैटिस्फाइड एतिकी परसेंटेज लोक आर हाईली डिसैटिस्फाइड सो आमे जदी एतिकी कहिबा आकु डिवाइड कर दबा दीटा पार्ट रे तो 10 5 15 एटी 15 आकु केते ला 9 टा केते 4.5 धरो हाफ ता माने केते होची 15 25 25 29.5 let's say 30% so that means now let's say 30% 30 हैला let's say हमें कहबे कि एटा अराउंड 65% आसी now better positive response रहउची एपट साइड सेपट साइड नेगेटिव response now why these people are negative now you need to think of from age point of view you need to think of from gender point of view you need to think of from income point of view so where the limitations are there you need to find out in that way only you can do the calculation or you can do the project work so this is what is one example of developing a questionnaire now HR audit questionnaire is to be developed where independent variable and dependent variables are to be identified these dependent variables are always depend on those parameters this will keep on changing and your views will also change accordingly तमे जते बेले अनमैरिड थिलो तम व्यू गोटे टाइप रो थिला you are more effective you are more workaholic now when you got married when dependents are increasing then your views will be changed and you will become dissatisfied from general condition we are and likewise तमे तो कम एज रे तमरो व्यू गोटे टाइप रो थिबा तमे तो हायर एज को पड़ेला एज ग्रुप को तम व्यूज गोटे डिफरेंट टाइप रो पड़े so you need to develop the questionnaire now questionnaire can be developed एठी तमरो गोटे तुमको गोटे लिखिया पड़िबो जदी तमरो पडिला ऑडिट क्वेश्चनर केते प्रकार रो होई परिबो तमे कहि परिबो कि गोटे रहिला ओपन एंडेड अनदर इज वन व्हाट के कहि परिबो what are the different types of questionnaire can be given one is your open ended and another is your closed ended audit questionnaire can be HR audit questionnaire can be of two types one is open ended another is your closed ended now open ended kono where you need to write down now in a questionnaire at the end you are giving suggestions if any when you are telling so it is up to them to answer the answers are not restricted with points with scale that means you will answer you will write down so the answers will not come in a systematic manner the answers will always come in differently mo ichha jaha mu tadre lekhini but in case of close ended I cannot write of my own I need to tick it or a tick mark karibi out of the options now can you tell me what are the different types of close ended questionnaires are there anyone
yes or no
no yes or no okay how can I peribo yes no unanswered what are I peribo accepting highly acceptable
yes
no disaccepting highly dissatisfied strongly agree no opinion disagree strongly disagree highly satisfied
recommendations
yes
recommendations
is we can say open ended what you are recommending that is all about your open ended because there is no option you are writing of your own are you getting a point now close ended in that the options are rigid the options are fixed it is static now these close ended are of two types dita prakar के कहि परिबो से दीटा जे कहबो ताको प्रोजेक्ट रे मु पूरा 100% ताको दे दिबो करे के कहि पूरा प्रोजेक्ट मु करे के ताको दे
repeat your question please
5 गणला भितरे 1 2
sir repeat your question
3 4
satisfactory unsatisfactory
ଗୋଟେ internal ଗୋଟେ external
आउ थरे चांस देले गूगल विदाउट सर्च करके कुहा मते
क्वेश्चन टा
ना जदि कहि दे थांतो ताले मु पूरा प्रोजेक्ट तुम करि देता तुम खाली दस्तखत करो. That is of two types. One is rating method, another one is a ranking method. जानि पारलो ना नहीं? अरे पिला माने what is
Yes,
the
yes,
first
sir.
one? What is the first one? Option वाला तो मान
Rating.
लो. Rating and ranking. हाँ
Ranking method or
गोटा करे में रेट करिवा गोटा करे में रैंक करिवा रैंकिंग. नाउ ए रेटिंग और रैंकिंग इज मोर एक्यूरेट than ranking. रैंक कोन ना तमे ऑप्शन देलो तमरो जो डीडीसी रे जो प्रोविजन अछि तुमको कोटा सबटु भल लागे. गोटे पीसीपी क्लास गोटे स्टडी मटेरियल गोटे रहला लेट्स से तमरो डीलिंग कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम गोटे रहला वेबसाइट गोटे रहला एग्जामिनेशन गोटे रहला टाइमली रिजल्ट पब्लिकेशन एमती तुमको ऑप्शन दिया गया. नाउ यू रेट इट व्हिच वन इज द बेस्ट व्हिच वन इज द लिस्ट. Rank it from 1 to 5. 1 is the best, 5 is the least. बुझी पारलो रेटिंग रे रैंकिंग रे. सो तमे कहलो फर्स्ट रहला स्टडी मटेरियल 1 तापरे 2 तापरे 3 तापरे 4 तापरे 5 तापरे 6 एमती रेट रैंक कर. तापरे कोन करा जीवो मु तो जणो को पचारिनी. आई एम नॉट आस्किंग इट टू 1, आई एम आस्किंग टू 100. Now out of this 100 how many are giving 1 to this or 2 to this or 1 to this or 2 to this. So I will segregate, I will analyze it, I will evaluate. बुझी पारलो ना नहीं पिला माने? अरे are you getting
Yes,
my
sir.
point?
Yes, sir.
It's all about your ranking scale. Now rating scale a PCP जो होची क्वेश्चन मोटे पचाली statement wise the PCP whatever PCP the content in the content class I understand the subject in the best way. Question पचला. Now it is strongly agree, no opinion, disagree, strongly disagree. बुझ पारलो ना नहीं? अरे ये point. Now here this ranking is macro, rating is more pinpointed, more micro. It is micro. Now आ भितर कोन होची समस्त पीसीपी ऊपर व्यूज देले समस्त स्टडी मटेरियल ऊपर व्यू देले. सो कहबे गोटे क्वेश्चन हैला द स्टडी मटेरियल व्हिच आर बीन गिवन टू द स्टूडेंट्स are asked for the syllabus and it is knowledge, it is resource. किए ताको स्ट्रांगली के ऊपर की करे नाही अति बेकार बकवास किए कहि पारे. Now it is how we are going in a micro sense. Individual to we are analyzing. Here overall analysis is there in case of ranking, but both the things are applied in audit. If you are like doing a project work, then you can put both, you can go with one or any one. So what are the different questionnaires are generally used in HR audit? HR audit में open ended था, close ended था. Now open ended is open, so where people will write an essay, give your comment, give the feedback. What are the suggestions? What are the recommendations? These are all your open ended. Close ended, when you cannot write of your own restricted answers, you need to answer to the point. To the point means you need to tick it. Which one you prefer, which one you like. The next is again that close ended are of two types. One is your ranking scale, another one is your rating scale. So that this is how the questionnaire is developed. Now what are these different we can say parameters are. One is survey feedback देखिबा और हम कहि परिबा कि questionnaire.
Sir,
Yes. So you need to go for survey feedback where you need to collect the questionnaire from the persons. Okay. I will start. I will give some questions from Unit 3. Please write the questions. Unit 3. Unit 3 re gotte minute mu syllabus. Okay. Define HRD. Define HRD. Discuss the systems and subsystems of HRD. System or subsystems of HRD. Define HRD culture. What is HRD culture? First is that systems and subsystems of HRD. Next is HRD culture. HRD matrix. HRD matrix. What is organizational development? What is OD? OD process. OD mechanisms. So what are the portions that to be discussed? Systems and subsystems of HRD, HRD climate, HRD culture, HRD matrices, culture and climate. HRD matrices, what is OD, what discuss the process of OD and discuss the HRD matrices.
Sir, organizational development and its process and its mechanism will come in one question.
सुना क्वेश्चन कौन आसबा मु जानिनी बट आमे ताको डिस्कशन कले केमिति तमे देखि परियो आंसर दैट इज व्हाट माय
Okay.
So केमिति कोन पड़ियो क्वेश्चन ओनली वी कैन नो व्हाइल ओपनिंग द पैकेट but if you discuss this portion at least you can have some idea about the concept of HRD basic knowledge. HRD is a vast topic which includes manpower planning, which includes OD, which includes MTD, which includes your career planning, succession planning. HRD includes everything. So HRD is not a small portion to discuss. It never can be discussed or defined in one unit. It is a separate paper, but still here we are only reading. So what I will do in systems and subsystems of HRD, I will only give the points. What are the main key points? What are the sub points? The key points are the basic or initial जोटा का हमें वर्तमान पढ़ुचे ये जो यूनिट रे जहाँ रहला सब गुडा का सिस्टम ता अंडर रे सबसिस्टम्स गुडा का आसीबो. Now what HRD is actually, just write the meaning of HRD. HRD what I likhi diyo, HRD is a process of developing, it is a process of developing three parameters. One is that it is a process of developing the competency, it is a process of developing competency, commitment, and collaboration. It is a process of developing competencies, commitment, and collaboration among the employees. So what are the three parameters? One is it is a process of developing the competency level, commitment level, and the intention to work in a collaborative. So it is a process of developing competency, commitment, and collaboration among the employees to perform the work which will contribute towards the development of the organization. Towards the development of the organization. So these three C contributes towards the development of the organization. HRD, our definition, HRD is an approach. It is an approach of finding out the inner potential, it is an approach of finding out the inner potential of the employees and sharpening such potential to make the employees more effective, enthusiastic, and enthusiastic. HRD out meaning likhi paro. HRD develops the capability, potential by exploring the inner knowledge level of the employees. Under HRD, the organization helps the employees to develop their capability, potential, or knowledge in a continuous manner, so that the people, it is a learning process. HRD always says that a learning process must be introduced in the organization so that the employees will always acquire knowledge, experience without experiencing the real work. They will become more experienced without going with the real situation. So they will try to enlarge, expand, or do with some exercises which will develop their potential level. That is all about your human resource development, HRD. HRD, ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ ୱେରେ define करे. HRD is not human resource development, rather it is human responsibility development. HRD is not human resource development, rather it is human role development. HRD is not human resource development, rather it is human reliability development. HRD is not human resource development, rather it is human relationship development. Now, if you are developing the human resources, the employees, so what will be developed? They will become more responsible. They will go for multitasking. Different type of role they will start functioning. They will become more reliable, more committed, more enthusiastic, more ethical, and they will become more, they will develop a more better bond within the organization. Now, if role responsibility, then it will enlarge your commitment, higher responsibility, innovation, involvement will happen. Role multitasking, dual work, multitasking and dual work, they will start functioning. Sometimes they will, what they will do, they will act like a father figure, they will act like a leader, they will act like a coordinator, operator, controller, commander. So different roles they will play if HRD, proper implementation of HRD is there. Then reliability, they will become more genuine, trustworthy, faithful worker. This reliability also develops commitment. So what it includes, they will become more faithful, more committed, more trustworthy employees. Dependable ame koche. Ei employee manako upare ame depend kariki kaam kari because reliability is there. We can rely upon them. And finally, relationship, they will feel better in the teamwork, cohesiveness, group dynamism, working in a team, better effort. Visible. So this is all about your concept of HRD. Now, what HRD is? It is the way of identifying the inner potential and sharpening the potential. I mean, sharpen korchu pencil lo muno. Tikhno koruchu. So what is that? Sharpening the inner potential of the individual, by which the individual can contribute towards the organizational objective. HRD is a process of defining the OD mechanism in the organization and implementing successful implementation of the same. OD, organizational development mechanisms, are to be introduced. HRD is not only human resource development, rather it is reliability development, responsibility development, role development, and relationship development.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great, sir.
Okay. What HRD culture is actually? The HRD culture, it depends on the organization. HRD culture, emti nahi ki mu eita hi HRD culture more hai pare. No, it is never like that. It all depends on the organizational principles. How the organization wants to move or run. So on that ground only the culture will be developed. The culture can be developed on that basis. So it is up to the administration, it is up to the management to develop a culture. That culture will identify the systems and subsystems. I define culture, vision, mission. So on the ground of the culture, we need to develop the vision, mission. Culture is the prevailing, what culture is, just write it down. It is the prevailing environment within which the organization functions. HRD culture is the prevailing environment or surrounding. What type of, I mean, pollution would surrounding? No, it is never like that. HR aspect, from HR point of view, HRD culture is the surrounding within which the people can function. The people can work. So this is all about HRD. Just write down one meaning of HRD culture. HRD culture is the surrounding. It is the surrounding within which the organization functions. HRD culture is dynamic. It is dynamic. Why it is dynamic? Because it is to be changed as per the environmental influences. Environmental influences जो आसुची ता basis रे हमें को culture change करिया को पड़िबो. Because two things are there. Whatever a culture, or whatever like climate. Climates are the external. HRD climate, external, within which the organism functions. Now, on that ground, we develop a system and subsystems. So that is how the HRD culture is to be developed. Now, P.V. Rao developed a systematic HRD culture. That a systematic HRD culture से कहिथिले तमे तमरो कहि परिबो मु मध्ये गोटे डिफरेंट वे रे कहि परि मु कहली कि HRD in fact ए जो role relationship responsibility reliability I had given it 15 years back in a paper of my own experience of my own understanding level I have given it in paper. So ताकि के पढिले जे पढिले से बुझिले जे न पढिले से बुझिलेनी जने टीवी रो concepts are well accepted. He is the first from our country who initiated HRD in L&T. L&T रे HRD concepts ये जे प्रथम introduce करिया को चाहिए. So CA कहिथिले TV Rao suggested a systematic HRD culture that is known as OCTAPACE. OCTAPACE. OCTPACE. PACE. OCTA research. OCTAPACE. तमे ताको एम उल्टा लिखनो OCTAPACE OCTAPACE culture developed by P.V. Rao. Now what is that OCTAPACE culture says? It says the conditions which are to be applied in the organization within which the people will function. Now what are the conditions should be applied? मु एटी कंडीशन कोनी ठंडा कूल रखिबो एटी कोनी लाइट थिबो एटी कोनी इंटरनेट थिबो these are not the conditions. Conditions are something else which will contribute towards the behavioral issues of the employees. आमे कहबे ठंडा कूलिंग एगुडा को मध्ये हम हर्थन एक्सपेरिमेंट रे पढिथिले illumination experiment where illumination of the lighting also influence the behavior. अंधार करी पड़िबा कि लाइट रे पड़िबा अंधार करी पड़ले हमको मुंड बिंदिबो हठात लाइट आसी गेला हम बिहेवियर चेंज हेजिबो. Those influences the human behavior, but still हमें कहचे कि some other HR concepts are there which includes O stands for openness. O stands for openness. C stands for collaboration. Openness, collaboration. Then next, rekhi diya. O stands for openness. C stands for collaboration. Next is your trust. Trust. T stands for trust. A stands for autonomy. P stands for proactive. A stands for authenticity. C stands for confrontation. And E stands for experimentation. लेखिलो पिला माने
Sir, E stands for
experimentations. Now what are the different HR cultures? जे कोनोसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तमे जीवो ताकर एक कल्चर थिबो. सब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन द कल्चर फ्रॉम HR पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. What are those? Basically हमें कहि परिबा one is that openness. Open communication थिबो. There must not be any hidden. That will create confusion. This openness will reduce conflict and confusions. See, एठी कोन होछि ना गोटे पॉइंट रे these are not independent, these are dependent. This openness depends on collaboration, trust, autonomy, proactive, authenticity, confrontation and experimentation. सब सहित रिलेशन रहछि, but सब गुडा को independent. These are all interdependent as well as independent. Openness is what? Openness is all about free flow communication, interactions through meeting, okay, conducting seminars, discussions. Okay, तमने पढ़िथिबा quality circle. Okay, workers participatory management, WPM and collective bargaining. And ता भीतर गोटे पढ़ेला quality circle. Quality circle is one kind of approach introduced by the Japanese people. The lower level people will interact, and because why such kind of we are considering lower level, because these people are the real worker. They know better how to give maximum output from utilization of minimum. We are not there. We cannot say like this. मुझे कहि परिबिनी कि जो घरटा को तू एमती ओळा so that ओळेले एमती clean हबो. I cannot say better than the person who is sweeping it, the person who is in charge of cleaning it. So if a team, a small group of people from the lower level will sit together and can discuss among themselves with the help of the management that how to develop the production process better with utilization of less resources, then it is always good. That is all one example of openness. So openness is one. Then collaborative is teamwork, working together, group work. We cannot function in a individual. We cannot give more or better when we work individually. So always it is advisable to work in a team. Team effort is always best than individual. Then trust. If team is there, then trustworthy, vishwasajogya, moral value, ethics will develop. Then once it is there, we need to give freedom, autonomy to take decisions. Restrictions of taking decisions must not be there. Openness is there, and as well as autonomy must be given. Freedom for discussion, freedom for taking up decisions. If it is not there, then what we are doing? We are suppressing the innovativeness, involvement, initiations, and interest level of the employees. If it is there, then autonomy is there. People will involve, people will initiate, people will be interested, people will innovate. So these are the basic outcome of autonomy. Proactive, it is, I mean, prevention is better than cure. Let us take some preventive mechanism so that when the challenges will come, we can face it, or we can tackle it or handle it. So prevention is better than cure. Likewise, proactiveness is always planned decisions. Types of decision, different types of decisions, like one is planned decisions, strategic decisions, program decisions. Okay, different types of change, planned change. So systematic, before happening, we have started implementing changes. We have started building our people to face such challenges. So that is all about proactiveness. Authenticity, always use authentic. So there must not be any manipulation. हमें कोई कि genuine spare use करूँ तो नहीं काहे genuine use करूँ टिके low standard use कर दे, substandard use कर दे. So authenticity is all about your genuineness. Okay. Then next is collaboration is over confrontation. You need to face, confront the conflict. So conflict तमें जो पढ़ी थी जो conflict कहीं की हुए, there are several we can say causes of conflict. Conflict arises because of mindset. Internal conflict, intra-conflict, inter-conflict. Intra starts from within. Mo mind psychologically mo confusion rahes. Intra-conflict. Then conflict between two. Mora tasayita conflict. Then mora tasayita conflict, that can be also identified as 1:1. Group is to 1. Group is to group. Organization with the group. Organization with organization. See, in that way, we identify the types of conflict. but conflict always starts from inner mo mindset mo चिंता धारा conflict ऊपर depend करो मु जदी सुनिली आ ताकू जदी मो मन को नहीं गले conflict है if I start avoiding first is that avoid सुनोनी कौन कहू avoid चुप रहो keep quiet conflict will go believe विश्वास करो conflict will go confront करो conflict will go diffuse करो काढ़ी को फोपाड़ी दियो conflict जे गंडोळ कर जे पिलाडा पार्टी करछ तो ताको म्यूट कर दियो diffuse कर दियो conflict will go effective communications भलरे बसी कथा वार्ता आबा conflict चले face to face discussion face to face conflict will go group build conflict will go individual one group build conflict will go so there are several mechanisms are there with which conflict will go away mu kon kahili avoid believe confront diffuse effective communication group building A B C D E F G sendi H re jibo harmonious communication I re jibo integration endi chali thi so conflict can be reduced with proper implementation of confronting with others. Finally, experimentation. It is all about your research. Experimentation is all about your research. So do proper research. You can implement changes. You can work with a new system, new mechanism, so that people will accept it. What is HRD culture?
The last one, experimentation, please.
Experimentation. You do research. Experiment करो तमे जानिबो तमे बाको बुझो जिंसटा जाई से किछि एक्सपेरिमेंट करो सो दैट अरे मु ड्रेस ता किनी मते भल लागु छि ना नाही मु केमति कहबे यू एक्सपेरिमेंट इट यू गो टू द ट्रायल रूम वेयर इट look at yourself take some photograph send it to Facebook send it to group then what comment you are getting on that ground you purchase that is what experimentation बुझि परला so
Yes, sir.
everything
Yes, sir.
every new whatever new are coming to the organization it is all because of this experimentation it is all because of the research search it again and again is research hello
sir
yes
sir again पढ़ी दियंतु टिके माने खाली
okay openness collaboration trustworthy autonomy proactive authenticity confrontation and experimentation this is octapes culture निश्चित रूपे प्राय गोटा शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आसे बड़ा लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन तुम बही रे नहीं लिखी एचआरडी पढुछ माने एचआरडी कल्चर कंफर्म प्राय जानिबा दरकार से इफ यू नो
थर्ड सेमिस्टर रे थिला
हां
थर्ड सेमिस्टर रे थिला
फर्स्ट सेमिस्टर
octapes
octapes थिला
octapes culture थिला सर
अच्छा थाई पारे but कोन होची ना at least if you can know these things whenever you are appearing any interview if any questions come from HRD you straight away drag your answer to this तमे जदि थरटे HRD culture report पढला then how you can adopt openness in the organization do you think that really it is acceptable really it is possible then you can go with the answer see तमे जदि एटा थरे कहदला से मन पड़ जे वस्तु अरे मु भी पढितली मु भूली गलेनी अरे you can कहलो how openness is acceptable do you think that really it is acceptable do you think that it is possible is it possible to apply in the organization how you can apply no it is never possible because organization systems are rigid restricted but if the approach is there suppose mu micho kahuchi continuous जदि मु 10 थर कहबी नाइ मु मिछ कहबिनी नाइ मु मिछ कहबिनी नाइ मु मिछ कहबिनी जेतले मिछ कहबो जिबी सेतले मो माइंड ता मते स्टॉप करी this is what human psychology so in that way at least it may not be possible it may not possible 100% but somehow it is if it is there the organization will run in a systematic manner collaboration will happen because this openness also indicates other facilities बुझिपालो so जदि तुम जानिबो परीक्षा पे जानो तुम भविष्य पाई because you are starting your career No one knows where you will go, को position को जीवो, केतोले को type रो interview दो, केतोले को type रो तमे कौन face करिवो situation. So if you learn the subject, at least you can explore such in a different way. बुझिला? Next class I will discuss systems, subsystems, HRD matrix and OD. छाड़िया था ना?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.